Antonelka here, and today, along with some of my friends, I will be sharing some information and different news that happened throughout this past week. It is a pleasure for me to talk about the discovery of a new system of exoplanets found by different scientists and whose name is TOI 178. It is located to around 200 light years distant from planet Earth, and it is compounded by 6 exoplanets whose sizes vary from the approximately equivalent of planet Earth up to 3 times this size. They have different they have similar arrangement conditions to our galaxies, and it is known that they have a center star from which all of the rest of the planets orbit around. Their individual conditions of each planet are still unknown, but scientists are working on finding different materials and to see if there's any signs of life back there. Now, coming up, my friend Gabriel will share some information too. Bye!
Thank you, Milton, for the introduction. But now we're going to be talking about GameStop. Their stocks have been soaring high because people haven't been investing in them. Stock market experts say it's inhuman and illegal. But why is this? Since the stock market millionaires have always done this to us, they invest and they take away. But now that we do it, it's illegal. Now that GameStop is worth millions thanks to us, the stock market has been broke. They cannot do anything about it. So we're going to hope that in the next few weeks we can see an improvement on our stocks, on GameStop, and we'll see where this takes us. That's all from my report, and on to you, Andrea.
Twitter launches Birdwatch, a forum to combat misinformation. Twitter unveiled a feature meant to bolster its efforts to combat misinformation and disinformation by tipping users in a fashion similar to Wikipedia to flag potentially misleading tweets. The new system allows users to discuss and provide context to tweets they believe are misleading or false. The project, titled Birdwatch, is a standalone section of Twitter that will at first only be available to a small set of users, largely on a first-come, first-served basis. Priority will not be provided to high-profile people or traditional fact-checkers, but users will have to use an account tied to a real phone number and email address. Birdwatch allows people to identify information in tweets they believe is misleading or false and write notes that provide informative context, Twitter Vice President of Product Keith Coleman wrote in a press release. We believe this approach has the potential to respond quickly when misleading information spreads, adding context that people trust and find valuable. While Birdwatch will initially be cordoned off to a separate section of Twitter, the company said, eventually, we aim to make notes visible directly on tweets for the global Twitter audience when there is consensus from a broad and diverse set of contributors. Birdwatch users are able to flag tweets from a drop-down menu directly within Twitter's main interface, but discussion about a tweet's veracity will remain exclusively in the Birdwatch section. Twitter says it does anticipate some users linking directly to Birdwatch discussions underneath high-profile and controversial tweets, just as some users would link out to fact-checking sites. Researchers will also be able to download bulk data about Birdwatch entries, which he hopes will enable experts, researchers, and the public to analyze or audit Birdwatch and deter manipulation. We know this might be messy and have problems at times, but we believe this is a model worth trying, Coleman wrote. Now we head out and introduce my partner Paulina with an interesting news.
Hello, my name is Paulina Tinoco, and I'm going to present the IUCN Red List of 2021. Year after year, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, publishes its Red List, which lists the species that are in danger of becoming extinct. Currently, 35,000 different species are threatened, which corresponds to the 28% of all animals. This list serves as a barometer of life, since the loss of biodiversity is one of the most important dangers that we face today. This registry, they can have more control over threatened species, and in this way they can design strategies to recover them. Just to name a few, these are some of the species at risk in 2021. Freshwater dolphins, caught in incidental nets, poisoned by river pollution, or hunted illegally. These species of dolphins quickly lose their lives. To help dolphins recover, the organization suggests avoiding the use of these fishing techniques. This reptile typically inhabits Madagascar. Despite being in their natural habitat, there are only about 400 specimens left in the northeast of the African island. Red-faced lemur. This species, native to Madagascar, has been on the red list since 2008, under the category of critical danger of extinction. This animal has decreased by almost 80% of its total population in a period of 30 years due to the excessive cutting of bamboo in this area. And finally, we have European bison. The European bison survived in captivity in the early 20th century. Time later, it was reintroduced into the wild in the 1950s between Poland and Russia. Today, there are only 47 herds in the wild, and the IUCN considers the recovery of this species to be an example of conservation.
Thank you very much, Paulina. And now, on some other news, in Ciudad Victoria, Tamaulipas, the spread of COVID-19 and its complications continue to increase in the region. The Secretary of Health, Gloria Molina Gamboa, said the past January 21st. After asking the population to take extreme measures of prevention, since it is quite likely that a local transmission of the new variant detected in the United Kingdom may be present in the territory. In spite of the efforts, she specified that Tamaulipas is still on orange code according to the national standard, and also because of the number of confirmed cases, letting the state in the position 12 of the national standard according to the Spotlight. In addition, she warned that a new strain is highly contagious, and even a new suspected case is being analyzed in the city of Tampico, which is nearby of her territory. Remember, you gotta be careful. If you go outside, wear a mask, wash your hands, use antibacterial gel in order to keep your hands clean. And remember, you can stay home, because staying home is staying safe. That will be all for today. Thank you very much for seeing us one more time, and we hope to see you very soon.